Analog horror is a genre that has unsettled millions with its unnerving atmosphere. These stories, often hidden within videotapes, lost broadcasts, or corrupted files, introduce us to universes where the rules of reality bend and break. But beyond its disturbing aesthetic, what truly makes these tales unforgettable are the threats the characters face. In analog horror, humans don't just confront the unknown. They are often left completely defenseless against horrors they can neither understand nor control. To better grasp the scale of the dangers present in these universes, I've adopted a classification system that some of you might recognize. If you do, let me know in the comments. This system will help us gauge the level of danger these entities represent. The classification is based on 5 levels, each defining the scope and impact of the threats. Wolf level, the lowest tier. Here we classify the appearance of a being or group of beings that may cause trouble, but their impact is limited and manageable. Tiger level. At this level, we encounter a danger that poses a risk to many lives, broader and deadlier than an isolated incident. Demon level. Things get serious here. This level includes threats capable of endangering an entire city or even destroying its infrastructure. Dragon level. The danger escalates to catastrophic proportions, capable of impacting multiple cities simultaneously. God level, the highest tier, representing threats that could lead to humanity's extinction. At this level, we face entities or events that not only defy logic, but also threaten the very existence of our world. Using this system, we'll analyze the threats faced by humans within a specific analog horror universe and determine their scale of impact. Just how close do these stories bring us to total annihilation? That's what we'll be exploring today. In this video series, you play a vital role. Out of the 6 universes we'll analyze and classify, 3 will be chosen based on your comments. For this episode, a big thank you goes to Anti-Villain Hero 505, Anti-Citizen Zor 51, and Shrimpoeat Shrimps. And many thanks to everyone who responded to the question in the previous video. While many of you replied outside the pinned comment, I'll make an exception this time. Remember, if you want to be featured in the next video, respond to the pinned comment where the next question is written. What other analog horror universe would you like to see in the next video? Before we dive in, don't forget to leave your precious like and subscription to help the channel grow and reach more people. Every like is one more coin to escape poverty. If you're unsure what to comment, just write meow in the comments section and I'll give you a heart in return. Comments are super important and help the video a lot, so don't forget to leave yours. Welcome to analog horror universes you definitely wouldn't survive in.
The Smile Tapes.
In this analog horror universe, humanity faces a biological threat of fungal origin with devastating physical and societal consequences. The pathogen, known as Abalia mundo rhesus, or the Jester, is a mutant extraterrestrial fungus that infects humans through spores, causing a chilling and lethal array of symptoms. The infected initially experience severe headaches, facial cramps, and mild meningitis. As the infection progresses, victims begin to smile uncontrollably, although they retain some degree of lucidity. Over the following weeks, the infection strips individuals of self-control, rendering them violent and predatory. Their smiles become permanent due to facial tissue damage, while motor and cognitive functions deteriorate severely. In the final stages, the infected's faces begin to rot, and their brains enter advanced stages of Alzheimer's, ultimately leading to death. However, their corpses release spores, perpetuating the infectious cycle. The fungus mutates rapidly, producing 3 distinct variants. Variant A causes the classic symptoms. Variant B is asymptomatic, enabling unnoticed spread. Variant C grants superhuman abilities such as extreme strength and resilience, and near immunity to bullets, making the infected formidable foes. The outbreak has devastating societal effects. The disease spreads quickly, causing thousands of deaths and hospitalizations. Infected individuals not only violently attack others but also release spores upon death, infecting anyone within a 10-meter radius. Furthermore, spores can be involuntarily spat out by any infected person and remain airborne for up to 30 hours. By 1996, the outbreak had claimed nearly 10,000 lives, hospitalized over 4,000 people, and left untold numbers infected, plunging the United States into chaos. The fungus originated from a microbe found in a fossilized insect encased in amber in the Yucatan Peninsula, speculated to have extraterrestrial origins. Its ability to mutate rapidly makes it extremely dangerous, as containment efforts consistently fail due to the emergence of new variants. Beyond physical effects, the fungus exerts hallucinogenic mind control, inducing visions and a sense of malevolent presence. This is evident in the writings of Sean, who transitioned from describing his physical agony to justifying massacres as acts of happiness. Efforts to develop a cure have failed, often due to planned attacks that destroy scientific advancements, such as the assassination of Sarah Campbell, the only known immune survivor. Government containment attempts are insufficient, as the rapid spread and enhanced capabilities of the variants overwhelm efforts. Entire cities fall into chaos. The series finale portrays one such city, overrun by infected, with a mysterious celestial phenomenon suggesting a direct connection between the fungus and its extraterrestrial origins. The maximum threat level in the Smile tapes reaches dragon level due to the following factors. The fungus devastates multiple densely populated areas, leading to the destruction of entire communities. Spore-based transmission makes containment nearly impossible. Variants elevate the danger level, with superhuman and asymptomatic carriers facilitating the spread. The outbreak plunges society into total anarchy, forcing survivors to seek refuge and compete for basic resources. While the fungus does not directly threaten the entirety of humanity, its rapid spread and devastating impact make it a catastrophic threat to entire regions.
Vita Carnis.
The universe of Vita Carnis takes us to an alternate reality where humanity faces the emergence of mysterious creatures made of skinless flesh, known as the same name. First appearing in 1931, these entities have transformed Earth's ecosystem, introducing themselves as a grotesque link in the food chain and posing multifaceted dangers. Though terrestrial in origin, these creatures are unlike any known form of life. Humans have attempted to study, coexist with, and even utilize them, but certain species represent lethal threats to humanity, reshaping both nature and our interaction with the environment. First, we have the crawls, the foundation of the Vita Carnis ecosystem. These fleshy vine-like organisms perform photosynthesis, enriching the soil and indirectly benefiting nearby flora and fauna. While harmless themselves, crawls produce growths that develop into more dangerous creatures. One such creature is the trimming, small scavenger-like animals resembling skinned raccoons. Though terrifying in appearance, they are harmless and highly skittish. In fact, people even keep them as pets, believe it or not. Next are the meat snakes, massive serpents made of raw muscular tissue that grow based on their diet, reaching lengths of up to 40 meters. They feed exclusively on dead bodies, making them useful for disposing of biological waste. They pose no threat to living beings, and have even been domesticated in some cases. Now we get to the truly dangerous creatures. First, the mimics, the most hazardous species to humans. These humanoid predators actively hunt us. An adult mimic learns to blend into human environments by wearing clothing or posing as mannequins. Once they reach this stage, they exclusively consume human flesh. Mimics stalk their prey, study their routines, and attack when they're most vulnerable, typically at night or while sleeping. They are highly resilient, rendering conventional weapons largely ineffective. If well fed, a mimic can evolve further into one of two variants. It can develop to appear more human, becoming an even more efficient predator, or it can transform into a super predator with even more disturbing features, enhancing its physical attributes and becoming even harder to kill. Then we have the harvesters, giant carnivorous plants with roots that hunt large prey. They use lethal toxins to immobilize and drain their victims. There's also the host of influence, humanoid creatures covered in tendrils that release toxic spores. These spores force infected individuals to march, zombie-like, into the clutches of a host. Finally, we come to the monoliths and singularities. The monoliths are 120-meter tall giants capable of emitting electromagnetic pulses when provoked, showcasing impressive destructive capabilities. They also regenerate rapidly, making them nearly indestructible. However, they pose no real threat as long as they are left alone. Singularities, on the other hand, remain an enigma and have shown no significant danger thus far. Adding another layer to the chaos is the cult that worships the Vita Carnis. Through a seasoning designed to enhance the taste of meat, they managed to place a significant portion of the population under the mind control of a host, as the product contained host spores. How many fell victim? Tens of thousands? Hundreds of thousands? Fortunately, the operation was intercepted and shut down. If you'd like to learn more, check out my Vita Carnis playlist linked above. Classifying the Vita Carnis universe is no simple task. Creatures like the harvesters and hosts present a tiger-level threat, while mimics are undeniably demon-level. And if we consider the havoc caused by the cult, it could be categorized as dragon-level. You know what? I'll leave this one to you. What threat level do you think fits Vita Carnis best? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section.
The painter.
The analog horror universe presented in The Painter depicts a simple yet profoundly unsettling threat. A killer, Mona Lanius, who blends extreme sadism with a macabre artistic sense. The murders are not only acts of extreme violence, but are also presented as artistic expressions that challenge every notion of humanity and morality. Each murder is depicted in grotesque paintings that portray the victims, perpetuating the horror while elevating it to a ritualistic form, where every killing feeds into an ongoing masterpiece. These paintings serve as a message, a signature, and, at times, a forewarning for future victims. The murders span a wide range of victims, from children to entire families, executed with brutality that spares no age, gender, or circumstance. Victims are subjected to creative and horrifying forms of torture, ensuring their suffering leaves a mark, both physical and psychological, on any witness or survivor. Clues within the series suggest Mona does not act alone. The emergence of a second killer with a distinct yet complementary approach adds another layer of dread. This second figure, potentially missing an arm, is characterized by a more feral style and the use of a mask, creating a disturbing duality between the two. The continuous unveiling of new paintings and the increasing brutality of the murders cultivate a climate of paranoia and distrust in society. This is further intensified by threats directed at survivors, such as Tina Rosenberg, who are left scarred both physically and psychologically, perpetuating the terror long after the events themselves. Initially, the crimes target individuals or families, but their scale soon escalates, involving more victims and increasingly elaborate crime scenes. The events culminate in a chilling mass murder at an abandoned factory, threatening entire communities. If you want to dive deeper into these events and their ultimate resolution, check out my detailed video on the series linked above. Upon analysis, The Painter represents a threat that transcends isolated murders, reaching proportions capable of destabilizing entire communities. The series depicts crimes that create widespread and persistent terror, escalate in complexity and scale, incorporate psychological and cultural components that resonate far beyond the immediate victims. This threat is classified as demon level, as it endangers an entire city by inducing widespread fear, and collective psychological destabilization.
The Stone Cold.
The Stone Cold series depicts an apocalyptic scenario revolving around the Medusa virus, a unique and terrifying biological threat. This virus doesn't just affect humans, it employs insidious methods to spread, constantly evolving to adapt and maximize its lethality. The virus first becomes evident through sightings of individuals with grotesquely deformed eyes, known as demon eyes. Its initial primary method of transmission is prolonged eye contact with infected individuals. This forces the population to avoid direct human interaction, significantly limiting social exchanges and generating widespread paranoia. The Medusa virus progresses through several stages, culminating in an irreversible and fatal condition. Each stage brings increasingly debilitating symptoms. Stage 1, initial contamination. Direct eye contact triggers eye inflammation, nausea, and facial pain. Surgical removal of infected tissue is possible at this stage, but medical resources are quickly overwhelmed. Stage 2, advanced infection. Permanent vision loss and partial paralysis set in. Extreme pain and incapacitating nausea leave victims entirely immobilized. Stage 3, terminal stage. The body becomes completely immobile, save for the ability to emit groans, which might function as attempts at communication or a lure for new victims. This stage is marked by ocular hemorrhages that release viral particles. The virus mutates into an airborne form, identifiable by an orange cloud. This virus is self-aware, employing psychological tactics to attract victims. Those exposed experience total loss of self-control, driven to their deaths by the alluring scent it emits. Birds infected by the virus exhibit brain alterations, causing them to emit deafening screeches. These infected birds act as extensions of the virus, driving humans out of shelters and exposing them to direct infection. The Medusa virus doesn't stop at humans. It devastates agriculture, triggering global famine. The emergence of a toxic black sludge accelerates crop destruction, pushing communities to the brink of collapse and fostering cannibalism in desperate areas. The virus spreads rapidly across countries, demonstrating total control over its dissemination. The lack of a cure or vaccine, coupled with its constant evolution, renders containment efforts futile. Its ability to penetrate ventilation systems and survive in diverse environments makes it an omnipresent threat. The Medusa virus actively seeks to annihilate humanity by rendering our senses useless, first sight, then smell, followed by hearing and taste. Based on the described elements, the Medusa virus qualifies as a god-level threat on the scale of danger. This menace jeopardizes the survival of the entire human race. With extremely effective transmission methods, rapid evolution to bypass defenses, and the simultaneous destruction of agricultural infrastructure and social cohesion, the virus represents an existential threat. Its global escalation, the futility of containment measures, and the ensuing despair reinforce the gravity of the situation, making the universe of Stone Cold a clear example of a catastrophic, world-ending scenario.
Dreams of an Insomniac.
Clyde, known as the Eastridge Demon or the Smiling Snatcher, is a central figure of terror in this universe. This entity possesses the ability to induce hallucinations and physically deform its victims through direct contact. Methodical and intelligent, Clyde is an especially dangerous force. During Halloween 1986, Clyde abducted 6 children within a short period. His ability to evade detection through traditional methods and manipulate his surroundings complicates efforts to apprehend him. These hallucinations disorient and isolate victims, making them more vulnerable. As I said, direct contact with Clyde causes horrifying transformations, such as the fusion of skin and bone, bleeding, and severe weight loss. This level of damage can permanently incapacitate victims. Clyde can steal voices, suggesting he has the capacity to impersonate individuals or use their identities to lure new victims. Clyde's capacity to observe and adapt to the population's preventive measures further elevates his threat level. For instance, in the final segment of Volume 0, Clyde studies human tactics to counter him, implying he can learn and evolve. The Lankman Foundation, although initially appearing to be an organization combating these entities, soon reveals itself as an ambiguous and potentially even more dangerous player. It is mentioned that the Foundation conducts experiments on the Veldigan, such as Clyde, as well as on affected humans. These experiments include the use of facilities like Room 66, which houses indescribable horrors, including human remains and contained creatures. The Foundation's founder, Dr. Herbert Lankman, seems to have transformed into a hybrid between human and Veldigan after years of experimentation. Now he acts as a tyrannical figure within the organization, overseeing and manipulating both employees and victims alike. On the other hand, the caretakers, guardians working for the Foundation, abduct individuals without visible symptoms and subject them to cruel procedures. Their actions suggest that the Foundation may be hiding more sinister intentions than it claims. Although the Foundation was created to combat threats like Clyde, its secrecy, manipulation, and inhumane acts make it a secondary but significant threat. The Veldigan are a species of mysterious creatures that terrorize Eastridge. One of these creatures, Winfrey, is found in the Foundation's Room 66 and appears to pose a greater threat compared to Clyde. Its mere presence in the facility instills fear, implying that the Veldigan are a broader species with potentially devastating capabilities. The Veldigan represent a threat that extends beyond individuals, acting as primordial forces that destabilize humanity, both physically and psychologically. Considering all of this, the threat within the universe of Dreams of an Insomniac can be classified as demon level, surpassing the Painter due to its supernatural nature. While Clyde initially targets a limited number of victims, the disappearances, hallucinations, and physical effects generate widespread fear and destabilization. Despite this significant danger, both Clyde and the Foundation currently operate only within Eastridge County, preventing their threat from escalating further, for now. If you'd like to learn more about this series, I also have a video about it on my channel.
The Sonic Tapes.
The first tape introduces Shinnick, a monstrous version of Sonic, and establishes its danger right from the start. What appears to be the mutilated corpse of Dr. Robotnik reveals the level of violence with which this creature operates. Through security camera footage, we see Shinnick stalking and devouring humans, confirming that this is neither an isolated threat nor an easy one to evade. Its modus operandi of hunting and feeding on victims marks the beginning of its evolution and the danger it poses to anyone nearby. The emergency broadcast urging people to stay indoors indicates that authorities have identified the threat but have no clear solution, leaving the population in a state of constant vulnerability. The second tape moves backward chronologically. We witness it consuming its first prey, showcasing how its insatiable hunger drives its evolution. Shinnick eliminates obstacles in its path toward food, revealing that it not only seeks to survive but also will not tolerate interference. Its predatory behavior, combined with strategic intelligence, makes it even more dangerous. The threat level escalates dramatically. Shinnick has already devoured hundreds of people and creatures from the Hedgehog universe and has begun corrupting other characters, such as Tails, who now serves as an ally and an agent of chaos. The disappearance of 946 individuals and the government's failure to contain the threat reveal that it has outgrown institutional control. The fact that Shinnick evolves through feeding makes it a dynamic danger, growing exponentially with each new victim. Shinnick eventually reaches a new level of evolution, transforming into a colossal creature. The footage shows how its size and abilities have increased, making it an entity that can no longer be confronted individually or contained geographically. Recommendations to evacuate entire areas with high disappearance rates underscore the imminent danger, leaving no time for more complex solutions. In the episode, A Dreadful Vision, the introduction of the Chaos Emeralds raises the threat to a global scale. If Shinnok obtains them, it would achieve its super form and carry out a ritual that would unleash unimaginable chaos upon the world. In the final tape, Shinnok has grown to a massive size, becoming a global threat. Its speed and destructive power allow it to devastate large areas of land in mere seconds. Meanwhile, the countless corrupted Tails clones, which massacre and abduct humans, multiply the scope of the danger as Shinnok now commands an army. Shinnok's evolution from a localized threat to a global entity positions it in the god-level classification. In its current form, Shinnok can wreak havoc on a planetary scale, and the countless Tails clones ensure that nowhere on Earth is safe. And let's not forget that Shinnok is still capable of further evolution. However, a slim chance of stopping it remains, which is why it falls just below the stone-cold threshold. Well, that's all for today. This might become a main section of the channel, so if you want more videos like this one, don't forget to support the video to the max and share it with as many people as possible. Don't forget to follow me on my other social media platforms, where I upload exclusive short content you won't find on YouTube. Also, remember that you can now become a channel member. Just click the join button next to the subscribe button to enjoy tons of perks and exclusive emojis while supporting me. If you're interested, join in. I'll be eternally grateful. And remember, this video was made by a cat, and cats can't talk. Thanks for watching, take care, and see you soon.